Are you tired of people asking you for money on the streets because of your fancy shoes?
Whoa, look at those fancy shoes you got there, mister. Sure could use a pair myself. If only I had a couple more dollars, though.
Ugh, go away, you bum. Do you want people to think you're tough while you're running across glass barefooted?
Wow, how's he do that?
It's all in the feet, baby. Do you feel like living the life as a hobbit? What you need is John McClane's see-through shoes. That's right. These are shoes that make it look like you're barefooted for all your barefooted needs. And if that's not manly enough for you, then you also get a free pair of John McClane's patented bloodstained see-through shoes. That's right. You look barefooted and bloody-footed. But that's not all. You get 4 wife beaters already stained by John McClane. That's right. You don't have to sweat in these yourself. It even comes with its own odor.
Whoa. Do I smell man and nuts?
Chestnuts. Because Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
Oh.
Ew. Hi everybody, this is Jpar and you are listening to the We Promise Nothing show. Today we have Lipp, we have Myles, and we have Da Boo. Before we get things started, I just want everyone to know that all the great music on the show is brought to you by SoundsLikeAnEarful.com. If you need great music for your podcast, check them out. SoundsLikeAnEarful.com. Now today we are going to review Die Hard. We're going to have Lipp on the show. Say hello, Lipp.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
We got Boo on the show, Da Boo.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And newcomer to the show, we have Myles. Say hello.
Hello, everybody.
All right, great. So we're going to get into our review, but before we do that, we're going to do a little bit of trivia on Die Hard. Take it away, Lipp.
Alright, so Die Hard. In Die Hard, the Nakatomi Tower is actually the headquarters of 20th Century Fox. So the company charged itself rent for the use of it in the then unfinished building. So, you know, they made a little profit on the movie to help themselves
I don't even
along.
understand how they did that. They, charged themselves rent?
Yeah, because they're producing the movie as well.
Yeah.
But they own the building.
So I don't know how that works, but that's interesting. Sneaky, sneaky.
Special extra loud blanks were made for the use in the film to add a hyper-realism for director John McTiernan. But unfortunately for Bruce Willis, some of these blanks were used for a scene where he kills a terrorist by shooting him through the bottom of a table where the terrorist is standing. The proximity of the gun to Willis's ear during the scene caused permanent hearing loss for Willis in one of his ears. Only a couple of actors who played the German terrorists were actually German, and only a couple more could actually speak broken German. The actors were cast for their menacing appearances rather than their nationality, and 9 out of 12 of them were over 6 feet tall.
Yeah, they were pretty ugly.
Yeah, I thought they were pretty menacing, you know? I don't know if they had a German look to them a bit.
Well, they were blonde, I know that
Yeah.
much. And they spoke a foreign language of some sort. That could have been German for all I know.
Yeah, absolutely. It worked in the late 80s.
Well, Germans and Russians are always bad guys in these action flicks, right?
Yeah. The scene where Bruce Willis and Alan Rickman meet up was unrehearsed to create a greater feeling of spontaneity between the two actors.
Mm-hmm.
So, I wonder if they even kind of, avoid each other on set and stuff before this. And just,
That would have been kind of interesting, yeah.
So you really get a just spontaneous first reaction to this character that, they're playing.
I think that's actually a great idea for your main hero and your main villain to kind of just meet in that kind of fashion, because the spontaneity I think would work better than the a rehearsed line with this person.
Yeah, the yippee-ki-yay motherfucker is used in all 5 Die Hard movies. This one, Die Hard 2, Die Hard 3, which is also called Die Hard with a Vengeance, Live Free or Die Hard, which is the 4th one. And that's actually the only one that's PG-13, which is actually
so they can only say fuck once, basically.
Yes, yeah. And then Die Hard, the 5th one is called A Good Day to Die Hard. That's the one I think where he teams up with his son.
Jack Courtney.
Yeah.
That it was apparently really bad. They go to Russia, they go to Moscow or somewhere. Yeah? Is that what you're saying? Yes?
Yeah, somewhere.
We'll see. And there is a sixth one coming out in 2017 starring
no.
Bruce Willis.
Yay!
And that apparently ties back to the first one, so we'll see. Also rated R, so at least it got that right.
Yeah, at least.
Okay, when John McClane runs through the glass shards in his bare feet after Hans and his men shoot out the glass partitions in the computer room, Bruce Willis is in fact wearing special rubber shoes designed to look like his own bare feet. One can in fact see this as looking closely as his feet appear quite unnaturally large in some of the crucial barefoot scenes.
Which was kind of the joke we were sort of making, that skit we did.
I don't know if we ever got there, but...
Well, no, we didn't. They did
Something,
rubber
something.
feet, and we did see-through, so not quite the same.
Something feet joke.
Something, something.
We put our best foot forward. With
Oh.
I like it, Miles.
All right. All right.
We promise nothing.
Promise nothing. Go on. Still reviewing a Christmas movie.
Die Hard is a Christmas
It's
movie.
February, and we're
They
doing
said-
a Christmas movie.
They say Merry Christmas, and
We say yippee-ki-yay.
they're singing Christmas songs, well, whistling at least.
Yeah,
several
they do.
times.
They do hum it, and they do, yeah.
Okay, so Bruce Willis took the role of John McClane after it had been turned down by Robert De Niro. Willis had just been turned down to play Charles Grodin, role opposite De Niro in Midnight Run. Coincidentally, both films eventually opened the same weekend. A little Bruce Willis, Robert De Niro fact there.
So, in other words, he could have been in either movie.
Yes. Yeah. So instead of playing opposite De Niro, he opened on the same weekend in a different movie.
Interesting.
I think he picked the right movie.
Probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't have Midnight Run 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Very good point.
Very true, very true. Okay, due to the tourist interest in the Fox Plaza building in LA, people are now forbidden from taking photos directly outside the building.
I thought that was funny. So they rented it so they can gain extra money, and they're like, no, can't take pictures of it. Get out of here.
Roger Ebert was one of the few critics to give it a negative review. The main reason he did was because he hated the character Chief Dwayne Robinson, played by Paul Gleason. He said the character was unnecessarily uselessly dumb, and he prevented the movie from working. And I agree with that a little bit, but I don't know if it ruined the movie.
It didn't ruin the movie,
And
but I agree.
actually-
He is a useless character.
He is a useless character, but he also had 2 or 3 good one-liners when people are falling out the building, like, I hope that's not a
Oh,
hostage.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, when Hans Gruber falls out. Spoilers. Hope that's not a hostage. Yeah, that was a dumb line. But,
It's got a couple little
well, I
one-liners.
mean, there is a little cheese to this. It's a classic 80s
It's
shoot 'em
actually,
up,
it's got some comedy to it.
Oh,
It's-
yeah, it does. It's funny.
So that's the part of that,
Yeah.
Uh,
Anything else interesting?
Yeah. Actually, well, no.
No, nothing else
It's
interesting.
another fact about Yippee-Ki-Yay, motherfucker.
And what's that?
Originally, they wanted him to record it as Yippee-Ki-Yay or Yippee-Ki-Yay.
Whoa.
Yeah, and he's like, nah, I think this sounds better. So they recorded both of it, and then he chose
So
whichever
Bruce decided that it was Yippee-Ki-Yay.
one. Apparently, yes.
Oh, there you go. There's only one John McClane.
Absolutely.
All right, so Boo, you brought over the trilogy, and so obviously you must like this on some level. What do you think of Die Hard?
Oh, yeah, it actually was one of my more classic of Christmas movies, honestly. It really was.
Yeah,
I think it just turned out to be because it was one of those movies I think that as a kid, I think was introduced as a Christmas movie, if I'm not mistaken. But just the right amount of violence. That's all I could say.
just all right.
For me, I always grew up knowing that if I didn't watch it, or at least overwatch it like we tend to nowadays,
Yeah.
I can still enjoy it just as much as I did on day one, but with the exception of benefiting from a different point of view. As a kid, you don't get to pick up on the little things, right?
All right, yeah. I haven't really seen. I realized when I sat down that I haven't seen this movie in its entirety from beginning to finish. I've seen it always cut it in the middle to the end or something like that. So this is kind of like my first time going all the way through. I did choose this movie mostly because of Alan Rickman's role. This is what his role that he's known for being a villain. And and he kind of got other roles because of this.
He was typecast a bit.
Yeah, he was. He was typecast as a villain. after this. He did do a good job as a villain in this. Not my favorite role of his, or even my favorite villain role for that matter, but still a good role for him.
Do you prefer him in Robin Hood?
I actually do. I really like his Sheriff of Nottingham character. He's hilarious. Like, cut your heart out with a spoon and canceling Christmas and just, oh my god. Miles, what about you? Not first impressions, but your impressions over Die Hard.
So I think Boo nailed it earlier. He said he's seen it when he was younger and he couldn't get a good appreciation for it.
Yeah.
I agree. So seeing it older, I can see where or why the movie ended up being a cult classic and started a whole bunch of sequels and got careers launched. Like we had Carl Winslow, for example.
Yes.
We see him all the time afterwards.
Oh, that's something we forgot to read about one of the facts.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Where do we write that?
He became super typecasted, apparently.
As a cop.
Yeah, he became 7 other cops because he did such a good job on the big screen as one.
Right, so we said, so Reginald Vell Johnson Jr., yeah, so he's typecasted, total of 7 cop roles, that includes, like, detectives and sergeants and all that. And, of course, you know him as Carl Winslow on Family Matters, also LAPD Sergeant Al Powell in Die Hard 2, and he was also a cop in Ghostbusters, so, yeah.
I enjoy him as a character. You know?
But Ghostbusters is before Die Hard. So he was already a cop before he was in Die Hard.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
I just love the fact that, kind of tying in with the stupidity of that one character that everyone hated, right? That one cop that was, not allowing the movie to go ahead with, as they said. I kind of fell in line with that whole stereotype of when, I'm going to say Winslow in this case, but when
That's
he goes,
what we know him as,
Yeah.
so it may as well.
When he goes into the convenience store to get was it the Twinkies or
Yeah.
something like that? Anyway, to me, that was too much of a stereotype for someone of his, whether it be a cop or just a cop with his weight size. Like, okay, yeah, he was a little chubbier than most. He wasn't exactly, the most, in shape. But it got to the point where I felt like, okay, this is that stereotype of that generation. A movie in that era, and today you don't really see that as much anymore. Cops are actually taken a little bit more seriously, I think. But,
Are they? I don't know if they are.
in a different light, let's just put it that way anyway. But
I
I
think
just feel like they had a more comical approach, especially with that dumb cop in this case, because like Dad said, it
the
made
cops
the movie make
were
more sense.
idiots. And they were also pansies, too. They were, like, running through the bush, and then one pricks himself on that thorn bush for no reason. Like, like, what? Like, they, like, really went out of their way to show, like, LA cops were a bunch of pussy-ass punks,
Are you talking about the scene they cut out?
Said it.
The one where they're actually running back, being shot, like as if they're running away from the bullets.
No, I'm not talking about what you saw in the extra features. I'm talking about that one, me and Lipp, where that guy's running through the bush and he like touches like a white rose or
it's
something.
White rose thorn or something.
Yeah.
And he actually goes, ow!
And he's like, ow!
Oh,
It's like, what? It's like they need like a tough, what is he, from Philadelphia, John McClane? Philadelphia cop, like John McClane to come here and show them how to do things?
Well, I think he's a New York cop.
I thought he was from
Yeah,
Philly.
I'm pretty
Is he New York or...
I thought he was from New York.
We promise
Yeah, I
nothing,
think it's-
folks.
yeah, I'm pretty sure
We
New
promise nothing. Says it all in the title. Alright, so let's start with the reviews. Boo, go.
4.5. I just don't feel like after a while, like it stands up. It's just your generic action movie, but I still love it to death. Because of I grew up with it. So 4.5.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't really grow up with it. So, I mean, it's a 3.5. It's still a good action flick, but I mean, I wouldn't rate it over 4 just because I find it's kind of doesn't really stand up nowadays.
No.
I mean, it's still a good movie. You go back and watch it, you can appreciate it for its time in the 80s and all that, and it was better back in the 80s, obviously.
I just feel the humor was still there.
Oh, the
And
humor
that's-
is definitely still there.
It's almost a timeless humor, almost. I think that's why.
But
it's not
I
really-
just don't think it's going to be one of those movies that I would want to go back and re-watch over and over again, so I don't think it would be rated so high. So I just only give it a 3.5.
Are we talking out of 5 here?
Yes, we're talking about a 5.
Okay, I would give it a 3 then, and I think you nailed it. It's the rewatchability. Once you see it the one time, you don't really miss anything.
Yeah.
So you don't need to watch it again for me. But it's a good movie.
Yes.
Action,
Mhm.
80s cheese, it's all there.
For
so.
sure.
Apparently,
And
I fall
it
for
even has a throwback that mentions Rambo and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, it is trying to pay an homage to these 80s action movies that were popular at the time.
Okay, I'm going to give it a 4.
All right.
The only 4 out there.
What'd you say, 4.5?
5.
4? I said 3.53. Perfect.
And, I actually suggested this at Christmas. I consider Die Hard a Christmas movie, and I really do. It takes place on December 24th. They mention Christmas like 2 times in the first like 5 minutes. Everyone's singing and whistling carols.
They do. It is like a Christmas
trying
movie.
to get home for Christmas. It's
It's a man's Christmas movie, you know what I
So
mean?
since I kind of grew up with it and I consider it a Christmas movie, I'd say, I don't know, for me it's a 4. It's got some nostalgia. Yeah.
All right. Well, the real reason I chose though was because of the unfortunate passing of Alan Rickman, which I'll be giving you some information on. We talked about him last time on the Labyrinth episode, just a little bit, because we were talking about Bowie as well. And we decided to do a movie of his. I decided this would be the better one because, like I said, it's one of his better known roles as Hans Gruber. Rickman's career was filled with wide variety of roles. He played romantic leads like Colonel Brandon in Sense and Sensibility in 95, and Jamie in Truly, Madly, Deeply 91. I've never seen either of those. Numerous villains in Hollywood's big budget films like German terrorist Hans Gruber in Die Hard 1988, and Sheriff of Nottingham and Robin Hood Prince of Thieves 91. And the occasional television roles such as Mad Monk Rasputin in HBO's biopic Rasputin, Dark Servant of Destiny 96, for which he won a Golden Globe and an Emmy. Hey. His role as Hans Gruber in Die Hard earned him a spot on the AFI's 100 Years, 100 Heroes and Villains list as the 46th best villain in film history. Though he revealed he almost did not take the role as he did not think Die Hard was the kind of film he wanted to make. His performance as the Sheriff of Nottingham, Robin Hood Prince of Thieves, also earned him praise as one of the best actors to portray a villain in films. Rickman took issues with being typecast as a villain, even though he was known for playing unsympathetic characters. His portrayal of Severus Snape, the potion master in the Harry Potter series, obviously, was dark, but the character's motivations were not clear early on. During his career, Rickman played comedic roles including Sir Alex Dane, Dr. Lazarus in the science fiction parody Galaxy Quest, portraying the angel Metatron, the voice of God, in Dogma, and appearing as Emma Thompson's foolish husband Harry in the British Christmas-themed romantic comedy Love Actually. Providing the voice of Marvin the Paranoid Android in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy in 2005, and the egotistical Nobel Prize-winning father in Noble Son 2007. And he's just got one of those iconic voices, you know. Two researchers, a linguist and a sound engineer, found the perfect male voice to be a combination of Rickman and Jeremy Irons' voices based on a sample of 50 voices. And unfortunately, he was taken away from us at the age of 69, January 14th, 2016, by cancer. He was born February 21st, 1946. Personally, one of my favorite villains in movies. Sheriff of Nottingham was one of my favorites. I also really, really liked him in Dogma as well. I always appreciated seeing him in a movie. It made me want to watch that movie just because he's such a great actor.
Another one I haven't seen in a while.
Anyone else got any comments about Alan Rickman, or how you came to know him, or
For me was...
not personally, obviously.
Yeah, I didn't know him personally, but Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, when he played the paranoid android, for me, that's when his voice really stuck, because all you got was the voice.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he did such a good job of this. It's supposed to be an emotionless robot, but he portrays it as such a
dreary,
so down.
yeah.
It's so dreary. No matter how good things were, it was always bad, and I don't know.
And he's also somehow ends up being the hero at the end of the story too, doesn't he? Yeah. Spoiler.
Yeah. Anyways, for me, that's what really stuck out, because his voice really carried through, because he didn't really have he didn't have facial expressions. All he had was his voice, and he portrayed it really well.
Yeah, I have a thing for voices. I mean, someone with like a great voice, I just or could play a great villain. I don't know. I'm drawn to those kind of characters.
For me, it was definitely this movie that I, probably was first introduced to him. Not so much Robin Hood. This movie I've seen a lot more. And I'm not really that big of a... I don't watch that much Harry Potter, to be honest.
No, I've never...
I don't really know him from that.
Yeah,
But,
I'm not... I don't watch Harry Potter either. Obviously, I think on the last episode, you're just like, we're going to watch the whole series. I'm like, no. I just didn't want anyone to get any funny ideas. Send a request for us to watch Harry Potter or something.
I'll be honest, he's one of those actors that seems to have like a presence in the room in a different way. You know, the second he talks, the way especially with an English accent, obviously. But he's certainly one of those characters I felt like that he could play different villain roles quite well. He had that sinister approach to his character, but I think above all else, I think that's why it was his one-liners that he was always well known for. And above all else was why for me Robin Hood was my same favorite. What was my favorite there? You know, cut your heart out with a spoon.
Yeah.
That was one that I just stuck with me and my family actually for quite a few
years.
Yeah. It was one that we couldn't stop, repeating. But it was one of those things I felt like he actually became a villain over time, and I think like they say, he was kind of typecasted. But I do remember him in a couple more roles where he wasn't quite so negative. He actually has a very charming personality.
Yes, he definitely does. And there's other ones where he obviously doesn't play a villain.
Yeah.
I also forgot to mention he did theater, and he even directed some plays and stuff.
He has a very theatrical presence. God.
This week's episode, we could actually just say it's brought to you by Movie Hating with Myles.
Whoa. That's a bomb to drop.
No? You don't want to be called Movie Hating?
No. I just.
Do you want to just call it Leo DiCaprio hating, or?
Well, if you're talking about The Revenant,
yeah,
and Leonardo DiCaprio winning an Oscar for it, I do have a lot to say, but I think that's for another show, another time, because there's lots to say there.
Well, no, we got the time.
Do you need a whole show for it?
Maybe. It should have been called Leo's Bad Day, not The Revenant. Because it's literally a day in the life of this poor soul just having a really, really shitty day. If you take a look at the total amount of lines that Leo has in the movie, we're talking maybe 10 lines, and somehow he got an Oscar for it. I don't know.
Okay, so I think I'm the only one at the table who has also seen the movie.
Okay.
I don't think it was that bad of a movie.
I haven't seen it.
Not yet. I know. Yeah, myself neither. I'm actually trying to find the time to actually see it there, but
I think I offered. You're just like, no.
You won't get the time back.
You won't get
and every time I attempted to, everyone kind of looks at me like, no, don't do it.
Well, it's a journey. I'll say that. But I don't think it's a bad movie, though.
Cinematics, amazing.
Yeah, cinematics are great.
Really great cinematics.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Hardy, great.
Great. Does a great role. I didn't even know it was Tom Hardy until halfway through the movie.
Yeah, he did a really good job as being a side character, antagonist right to the bitter end.
No kidding.
Other than that, I don't think Leo, in my mind, should have got the Oscar. It should have been Tom Hardy. Leo.
You might be right there. I think Tom Hardy did a better job at acting.
Yes.
But I think the way they do it is like you get a few nominations, and then you get your actual award. You know what I mean? Like,
but then at that point, the Oscar is watered down. What does it mean?
Who cares?
You know, the other people.
Who follows the Oscars ananymore, anyways?
I do.
Well, I don't think anyone else does. Did you watch it? How was it?
It was terrible. It was only terrible because of the whole racial issue that's going on. There was no black people that were nominated for anything.
Right. Yeah.
Is that second year in a row now, though?
Well, they didn't make light of it last year, but this year they really, every skit, every quip, every in between Oscar announcements, it was all about some sort of racial discrimination. And at the beginning it was funny, but then halfway through it's like, come on.
It's like now it's starting to become a little too real.
now it's too much, and now this is what that Oscar's
now it's starting to become uncomfortable.
Yeah, well, you got rid of.
So is there going to be like just a gimme kind of tossed in there now? Or?
Well, that's what I was thinking. Are they going to do that now, or? Well, here's the thing. I don't know who the five best actors
nobody
are.
Wants that, and I feel like that's almost what they're trying to push for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you want it to actually be the five best actors, regardless of race, color, creed.
Yeah.
But exactly. So it just should be that. I don't know. Like I said, who pays attention to the Oscars anyway? I don't give a shit.
Well, if you watch the Oscars, that was the main theme. It wasn't about giving Oscars to the best actors or actresses or cinematography. It was how many little quips and realisms they could throw in about the racial discrimination that the Oscars has had over the past couple of years.
Whoa. Taking a pretty serious tone on the show here. You're bringing some levity to the show there, Myles.
Maybe. Chris
Real
Rock
world.
was great though.
Yeah, I
Don't
heard,
get me
I
wrong.
heard he was.
Chris Rock was hilarious, and the skits were funny, but the undertones, there was too many undertones that kind of took away from what you were there for in the first place.
I feel like you needed a bath after a little bit. You feel dirty.
Yeah, I feel dirtier as I speak.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, we should almost just do our own version of the Oscars and decide who our own winners are.
Yeah,
Yeah? Next
I
week?
agree. Yeah, next week.
Next week we have our own award show?
Yeah,
Should we have
Yeah,
everyone
we're gonna
vote
watch
for
the
it?
Actually-
movies. Have you guys seen Spotlight yet?
no.
Spotlight, I think it was nominated for some. I don't know if it won any, to be honest, but it was about the Boston Globe, who kind of exposed pedophile priests in the Catholic Church, and the fact that they just moved them around to different parishes instead of actually,
Dealing with the problem.
dealing with the problem, and kind of signing cases out of court and stuff, so keeping everybody quiet, hush hush kind of thing. Really interesting movie.
Almost documentary.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Is it documentary or is it acting?
It's acting.
Okay.
Oh,
It's
okay.
got Mark Ruffalo,
Okay.
but it's sorry,
Interesting.
not documentary. I don't know why.
So
I said
what?
that.
Yeah, it was like a
I
documentary.
But I believe
I don't
it's
know
based
what
on-
made
it's
me
based
ask
on
you a
true
second time. For some reason, I didn't believe you when you said it the first time.
You knew.
I somehow know. It's like,
based
he's
on true
lying.
events. Based on true events.
I better ask him again, see if he gives me a different answer.
Based on true events is what it is. It is not a documentary.
All right. Honestly, I thought the Revenant was a good movie. I don't know what your problem is. Mad Max.
Shouldn't have been up for.
Mad Max was obviously awesome and it got awards. But like that's how it should be. Like anything that's like that great should be getting all the awards. Like it was obviously the big blockbuster of the year.
Do you think it could have been better if it was rated R instead of wasn't it PG-13?
Yes, for sure. Because Road Warrior is much more violent than Fury Road. And I actually enjoy Road Warrior more.
Yeah, but I'll be honest, they did a lot of cool stuff with those.
Oh, they did.
Spears over the cars.
Yeah,
and,
like I mean,
yeah.
it was very. That was speaking of cinematic. That was cinematic.
Absolutely.
As all hell, and very beautiful in some scenes. Even though it's like all
CGI.
mechanisms and
Well,
machines
yeah.
running through the desert. That shouldn't be beautiful at all. You know, it should be like.
You said you really enjoyed the religion, eh? The Valhalla.
Oh yes, how they were like
Yeah.
praying to like Valhalla and like we're gonna everything's shiny and chrome and we're gonna be reborn in Valhalla.
Yeah,
Yeah.
chrome means good.
Yeah. And their slang.
There was two things about Mad Max I always loved was the color palette and the mythology because it kind of had its own little. Aside from its own little world, it tries to base it on our world from afterwards once we've killed ourselves.
Right, and it's like the
That's what I
pursuit
love.
of oil and machines,
Yeah.
but in this one it's water, like which would be definitely a high commodity in the future. That's
God,
mostly all
Yeah.
desert. But I think we probably talked about Mad Max before. But yeah, that was definitely a better movie throughout the year. Now, a movie that came out this year, which we'll do right quick because it's our nerdly duty, is Deadpool, which came out in February.
Oh yeah. Has
Did you
everybody
see
seen
it?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
Has
good.
everybody seen it?
We're not going to do any spoilers, but we got about a couple of minutes to talk about it right quick. Just first impressions go.
I thought it was amazing. It was worth the wait, worth the trailer leak a couple of years ago. Ryan Reynolds, I have a secret man crush on, so I'm so happy that he is up on top again. I see good things for
Wait,
the sequel.
I'm part Ryan Reynolds. I mean, he's a little bit of in all of us because he's Canadian.
I think he is.
Yeah, I think so.
I love his quips.
Everyone's got a little bit of Ryan Reynolds in them.
I think
Can't
they
say
let
so.
him loose in this movie.
They did,
and
totally.
That is
Absolutely.
that was the gold part. They didn't filter him. So in my mind, it was definitely a 5 out of 5 for me. If we have to rate it.
We're not rating it.
Okay,
just
we're not
doing-
rating it. It was really good.
Maybe one day we'll rate it, but
One day.
if he's
You
on the
already
show,
know.
you already know what he's gonna rate.
Yeah,
so.
there you go. No surprises.
Spoiler.
I absolutely love to. I'll agree with you as your man crush. I don't know. I just feel like I want him to be my best friend. Like Ryan Reynolds is he plays an amazing Deadpool. I feel like if you read the comics and stuff, like, he's very
he
true to the
nails
character.
it. I don't think
Absolutely.
anyone else could play Deadpool. And finally, this is what I was saying to I think everybody before we went to go say it was just for once I feel like they're gonna make a superhero movie that's like true to the material, like 100%. Like Avengers is pretty close, and the MCU is pretty close, but it's still not like 100%. I feel like Deadpool was closer to the source material than like
Absolutely.
any other superhero movie.
And I
I've
feel
seen.
like with it being rated R and it broke tons of records because it broke box office records, I think there'll be a push for more R-rated superhero movies,
For
which
sure.
is what I want.
Which I'm excited
I want them
about.
to get away from the merchandising.
Yes, get away
Iron
from the
Man.
little... I don't mind if you still want to make movies for kids and stuff like that, but don't forget, there's still adult comic fans out here who pay big bucks for this.
Yeah, I want like a dark Batman. You know, the Watchmen. Watchmen was rated R as well.
Yeah, that was great.
Amazing.
And so... Ooh,
Well, yeah, same from everyone else's perspective. I don't know about the bromance here, but for me, I think on another note, it opened my eyes to another universe of Marvel that we kind of heard of. You know, now we're going to hear about Cable possibly, joining the ranks of the movies. There's so many other characters now that they can start tapping into, especially now that they're. What I hope to God is the idea of trying to merge X-Men into the other Marvel universe that we're already being, subjected to. So, at some point they're going to have to figure out a way to merge them, right?
I don't know if that's going to happen.
I'm
Fox
not
owns the
sure if
rights.
that's going to happen.
I know. Well, we can only hope. But
Fox-
I feel like
I
Deadpool-
feel like if they're ever going to do that, they're going to do that for Infinity War. Maybe they'll break some sort of deal with Fox to include some characters in there. If they want to go balls to the wall when it comes Infinity War time.
Yeah. But right now, Fox owns the rights to Deadpool, Wolverine, as you saw, Colossus, and whoever that other chick was. And some other X-Men, right? All the X-Men?
All the
X-Men. And Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's including Silver Surfer and Galactus and Doctor Doom.
So there you go. So those movies are produced by Fox, while everything else Marvel is owned by Disney.
Yep.
I can still hope. Stop squashing
I'm just
my
saying.
hopes.
I'm just saying. Very difficult. But
All right,
It can
well,
happen. It can.
It can. I mean, they broke a deal with Sony. I mean,
Yeah.
they could do it, for sure.
Yeah,
All right, oh, sorry, did you have something else to say?
No, I was just gonna say, if you have a big enough fan outcry, which was the Spider-Man,
Which
thing,
was the Spider-Man thing.
yeah, they had to move them. There was no
For
choice.
sure, they
Yeah.
did,
They
because
wanted people to go to the next Spider-Man
people were
movie. It
hating
had to
on
be
the
done.
amazing Spider-Man movies.
Yes.
All right, so we have time for... It's time for everyone's favorite game show!
Pitch that movie!
That's right. This is where usually me plays a picky producer who has to judge between a whole bunch of crappy ideas and, a really crappy genre and decide which one's the best one. Not me this time. Lipp will be the picky producer. Me, Boo, Myles will be pitching bad movie ideas at him as we roll them up on our die 20 of Destiny. And, we all take our turns and then we see who comes up with the best. Are you guys ready?
Never.
That's what I thought. Let's get things started.
I can smell the confidence.
Do we remember who the champion is? It's actually you, isn't it, Lipp?
Is it actually?
You are. You say you don't like playing this, but you're actually the best guy at this.
Well, we'll see how it goes this week.
All right, so...
I don't know why.
all right, so, Boo, did you want to start us off?
19.
All right, you get Natalie Portman as your celebrity.
Should we be writing this down?
You should. I don't care.
Write it down.
Sorry. Natalie Portman. Check.
Natalie Portman. Roll again, Boo.
9.
In a romantic comedy.
Oh, God.
This is
Boo, what are you doing to us?
Roll something good.
4.
It's an animated adventure. No, sorry. I'll leave the hosting up to you, Lipp. Sorry.
It is an animated adventure, though.
No, it's not. It's a rom-com. We already decided that.
Oh, well. Okay, well, it says Heartbroken.
We promise nothing. With Heartbroken, roll again. Politicians.
Wow.
That
Politicians.
actually goes together pretty good.
Okay, yeah, this is better than, like space dinosaurs.
Or, like naked cheerleaders or something.
Whoa.
Nothing's better than that.
All right, so Natalie Portman in a romantic comedy,
And
she's heartbroken over politicians.
well, she might not be. It means there's heartbroken politicians. She doesn't have to
true,
be. All right,
it's true.
so go Boo.
Oh, seriously? Okay. Well, I can see,
I can't describe it to me. Describe it to me.
How can I see this? It's got a Portman in it, and she's animated.
No, she's not animated.
Oh, see, guys.
Natalie Portman, rom-com, heartbroken politicians. Go.
It's the tropical islands of Puerto Rico.
Okay, it's warm.
I can see Natalie Portman. She's
In a bikini?
I can see her in a bikini too.
Clearly in a bikini. All right. But she's obviously one of those politicians. She just can't seem to get her own image, right. So she can't seem to fit right in. So she's got to be one of those ladies that she has her own image. So she's got the bikini going in every time she goes in, in court.
She wears a bikini to court.
Bikini to court.
And she's a politician, so she's a lawyer and a politician.
In a bikini. Oh, this is sounding great.
Wow.
But keep going.
Okay, I'm really interested.
And since it's all
clearly one
guys
of
on the
these-
show this time, we can
Clearly
do
one of
this.
these cases where she ends up falling in love with her own client. The client itself, she can't seem to fathom is not.
Who's the client?
I don't know. We'll pick Gerard Butler. All right.
Gerard Butler. All right.
All right.
But what she doesn't know, he doesn't go that way.
What way does he go?
Clearly, he's incapable of loving a woman.
Man, all right. I like that, Boo. We'll cut it off there. That was a good one. That was actually really good. It started off a little rocky, and then there was a lot of bikini action.
Yeah. A lot of bikini,
And
a lot
she
of
became
court.
really smart.
But there's no way they can come together. Of course, that's the comedy that comes.
Hey, you had your turn.
full.
You had your
You're
turn.
Yeah.
I think we need to clear the air, though. He's incapable of loving a woman. What happened? Was there an accident at a young age?
We don't know.
We don't know. Okay, that's the plot twist. At the
There
end.
you go.
Okay.
All right. All right. So Natalie Portman is a heartbroken politician, of course. She's running to be, governor of Dakota or something, I guess.
So, south or north?
We'll go with North. And thanks for that. And she's had her heart broken a lot. She's had a lot of guys that so she's become cold and no one takes her seriously, right? So all her people that help her out, they're like, oh, you gotta go out, gotta meet someone, like light up your life. Okay, so she starts going out with Ryan Reynolds because we already love him anyways, right?
Yep,
So we
yep.
do that, easy win there. We like him, she likes him, and then she discovers love. Since it's a romantic comedy, that's perfect. The only problem is, she's a politician. So, there's a situation where he's really likes her. He goes to her place and he's like, trying to. Accidentally ends up being spying on her, and her agents, not her CIA agents, but her bodyguards, mistake him for like a thug and stuff like that. He falls out of a tree. The girls laugh. They get excited about it. It's a rom-com. They love it. They fall in love. He makes a mistake. He's the dumbass. Obviously not her. He chases her onto a plane, like she's taken off on a plane to go become the governor because she won.
All right.
All right.
Thank you. I didn't know where to stop there. Should I stop there earlier?
That's
I was taking it all in.
Oh, that means it was good. That means it was exciting.
My go?
It's your go.
Okay, I'm going to take a little twist here.
Okay, yep.
So Natalie Portman, she's a down-and-out young woman. She's having a hard time finding a job. Her boyfriend just broke up with her because she is... Yeah, he's a jerk. Doesn't see her for what she is, but she's kind of a dead leg to him, so he gets rid of her. This gives her the drive to now run into politics. And she doesn't start at the bottom. She goes all the way to presidency. Because she is very jaded at this point. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. So throughout the time that she is campaigning, she's meeting different people. She meets somebody in, we'll say, South Dakota, since no Dakota already used up. And it happens to be somebody that we never thought it would be.
Danny DeVito?
Danny DeVito. Same height, so they see eye to eye on literally everything.
I totally just helped you.
You
with
did
yours.
just help me. Long story short, she doesn't get presidency, but she gets love. And the end.
Nice.
So now you got to be the picky producer. Which one is it?
Okay, that's a tough one.
Who gets the point for the round?
I think I'm actually going to give it to Boo here.
Oh, Boo with the point.
1 point to start.
All right.
I started to fall with DeVito and Portman there for a little bit.
Yeah, well, your DeVito thing threw me right off. I'm not gonna lie.
The
This is
assist.
not who I had in
The
mind.
assist.
I thought it was an assist, but actually it wasn't.
No, it was good. It was good.
It's my turn. All right. So I get. Oh God, it's a duo. It's Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill.
All right. What genre are they in?
It's gonna be.
It's a dance movie.
Oh fuck! Channing
Nice.
Tatum's gonna like that.
Oh, this is perfect. This is working out really well too.
And I'll roll again.
Next.
10.
With exploding sword fighting.
No way! Exploding.
Oh, let's do sword fighting. I like sword.
Okay, sword fighting.
Sword.
11.
Lovers. We're doing sword fighting lovers or exploding?
No.
Lovers?
Oh, sorry. Sword fighting lovers. Sorry. You chose sword fighting. Thank you.
Sword fighting lovers.
Okay. Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill. It's a dance movie with sword fighting lovers.
This could actually work.
This could work.
Okay, Jpar.
All right, so it's back in the olden days, right?
what old days?
Like, you know the times of the Musketeers?
Okay.
So it's like in that era. So I guess it's in France or wherever that is.
Sure, Europe.
Yeah, Europe somewhere. I don't know.
General.
We promise nothing. So they're both trying to they're trying to be a part of the Musketeers, right? And they keep bugging D'Artagnan to try and join the Musketeers. All right, and then they can't. So the reason why they can't join is because they're not actually good sword fighters. They're just actually good dancers, right?
Oh.
So their good dancing makes people think that they're sword fighting, right? So it's actually not true because they haven't actually killed anyone. But no one knows this. They're still trying to get in. So Channing Tatum sees Scarlett Johansson. She's around because she's hot, and she could probably do some sword fighting. I'm sure she tried. And, of course, Channing Tatum is trying to impress Scarlett Johansson, but doesn't realize that she actually has a thing for Jonah Hill. So this kind of, throws their friendship off. And then, they do their thing where they're, butting heads and they're not getting along. They're not buddy-buddy anymore, farting in each other's faces and laughing like they usually do, right? So, they fight, and then as this goes on, they find out that Scarlett Johansson's actually the bad guy.
Dun dun dun.
She has all the Musketeers captured, and they can't do shit about it. So what happens? Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill show up to do a dance-off and win the day. Booyah! Movie credits done.
And what's the movie called?
It's called the Four Danceteers.
Nice. Good ending.
My go?
Yeah, go for it, Miles.
Okay, so this is going to take place a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Awesome.
We're going to have two smugglers on two different sides of the universe.
Uh-oh.
Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill.
Ooh.
They eventually meet up at a cantina where they end up in a dance-off.
This
Now-
sounds a lot like Star Wars.
Huh, but it's not. That's the
Oh.
funny part.
Interesting.
So, as they're dancing at the different cantinas, they end up...
Wait, who started dancing first?
Oh. Well, it's definitely not Greedo, that's for sure. I can
Wait,
tell
you
that
said
much.
this wasn't Star Wars. Why is Greedo in it?
He's not.
Oh, okay.
So, long story short, the sword fighting, well, it's actually lightsabers. Who knew?
Whoa!
Who knew there would be
You
lightsabers?
can't just turn swords into lightsabers?
Wait a second, did I say lightsabers? I meant swords of light.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so they love each other's dance moves. They go across the galaxy dancing together, winning different dance competitions here and there. A love starts between the two of them.
Between who?
Between both Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill.
Oh my
Now,
God.
Here is the twist. George Lucas twist that they find
Uh-oh.
out after the second movie, actually.
They're also in love with Jar Jar.
No, they're brothers.
Oh
Oh my god.
The name of the movie? Dance Wars.
Oh.
no! Alright, top that boo.
I'm gonna have to forfeit on that one. Christ, like,
Find
oh,
a
No,
Miles.
no, don't for it.
Oh,
No, you got a good idea there. I saw a twinkle in your eye earlier.
No. I was so off base that when you guys were going off there for a rest.
Yeah, we both
Alright.
went in two different directions.
All forfeit, that's right.
Alright, so who won the round?
I'm gonna move to Miles.
Alright. Alright, Miles, you will roll up the last round. Oh man, yeah, that was too funny.
We got a 5.
So Nicolas Cage is back in
Alright.
another movie. Go figure. Roll again.
In one of 6 movies produced this year.
We got a 3.
Which is a slasher horror.
Ooh. Has he actually ever done a horror movie?
Is it Wicker Man kind of?
Oh, yes, yeah, I suppose.
The bees. 12.
With Robot.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
16. Models.
Robot models.
Oh, wow.
That actually kind of works as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you will go first on this one.
Okay, so this movie is going to take place in the not too distant future. We're going to say 30 years from now. So the year 2046. The robot in this movie happens to be his protege that he made himself. He has an issue making friends with people, so he had to make himself a robot. Now here's the twist. There's a ghost in the machine. This robot, while Nicolas Cage is asleep at night, is killing people. What people, you ask? The pretty people. The reason being is he knows Nicolas Cage, like, he's not getting any younger and he's looking pretty rough these days. So he's basically slashing the competition. So at the end of the day, the only pretty person left is Nicolas Cage.
Whoa! That's an ugly world, my friend.
Not if everybody else is dead.
So that's
Awesome. What's the movie called?
What should it be called? Pretty in Dead.
Nice.
Freddy and Dead. Okay. Go, Boo. Fuck.
Alright. I'm not going to go quite so far in the future. I guess we'll keep it in today's day and age. But I could see Cage, hopefully, in better shape than he is these days. But he's the model himself. I'm going to twist this. Alright, so he lives in a world where everyone thrives to be Nicolas Cage. But in his world, what he doesn't seem to realize is that society is turning on him. So it becomes more of a politically correct movie, I guess you could say. But if anything else, it turned out to be that, as robots themselves became more common in our day and age, in our society, one of which being our slaves, doing our chores, taking care of our homes and whatnot. What he doesn't realize is that someone in the back is actually conspiring to kill him with everyone's robots in general, on everyone's, front doorstep, so to speak. So there's no way he can
So
actually...
the robot's going to go rogue?
Yeah, so all robots could virtually be a potential killer. So, it's one of those moments where, he has all eyes on him, but he doesn't know who to trust. So it's almost a thriller slasher.
Thriller slasher. And where do the models come in? Model numbers of the robots?
Oh,
Oh,
Midnight Shyamalan twist.
I didn't quite think that, but no, I just figured he was a model.
Nicolas Cage.
Just
And you
throw it out
live
there.
in the
It's
ugly
possible.
world created by Miles' movie.
Yeah. That's the sequel.
Yeah.
All right.
Nicolas Cage is the model.
Surprise! Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Surprise! Surprise! In the not so distant future, this movie takes place. But now has come time in the world where, people are very accepted of, robots being, around. So people have kind of taken them on as wives. People who can't go out and get, girlfriend or wives themselves, they order these robot models. They're modeled after real models, and they order them and they come in. Alright, so, this person that you end up marrying it, because the law of the U.S. has changed as well, along with these new weird robot laws, right? You can marry your robot. It's your wife now. Alright, so he does this, and, eventually as it goes along, something happens, and she starts to malfunction, she starts seeing him as, a threat, as opposed to someone to love, right? So it starts becoming a little bit scary. He starts finding dead things, eventually building, it gets worse and worse, dead people, even, she, killed someone that was, to save him, that was gonna, blackmail him kind of thing, and she ends up killing that person, right? So this is where it starts getting serious and scary. And, and then eventually it just ends up coming to where she's gonna have to kill him, too, and, assimilate him, as the robot sees it in its own mind, right? so you don't kind of like which it seems as simulating him taking all his assets and like his life and all that, right? And it's called Till Death Do Us Part.
Ooh, nice. Little marriage slasher there. Ooh, okay. I'm going to give it to Myles for the win.
All right, that works. You are the winner today, Myles. What do you got to say?
Beginner's luck, I guess.
Did you feel like you came up with strong movies?
I honestly did. I actually want to see this Nicolas Cage one. The more I thought about it, it actually seemed pretty cool.
I could almost guarantee he would do it.
Yeah, he would. For sure.
Well, since he never says no to movies, yeah.
Yeah, well, he's got, 3 castles he has to pay
Slasher
for?
robot model.
Well, you think he would actually be a model in mine? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you might have to grow some hair.
I think the problem is he's growing too much hair. Well, you're talking about his head.
I remember when they said he was gonna play Superman back in the day, and I was just like, how is he gonna do that? Superman has great hair,
And it curls.
yeah, and Nicolas Cage has no hair.
Bald is beautiful.
All right, well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode of We Promise Nothing. If you like what you heard, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. This is Jpar signing out.
And Myles leaving the premises.
And this is Lipp heading out.
As well as Boo.
And remember, if you disagree with anything that you hear or see on the show, remember, we promise nothing.
nothing.
Good night, everybody. What you need is John McClane. What you need is John McClane's see-through shoes. That's right. These shoes are see-through. It looks like what the fuck? That's nonsense.
Okay, I'm glad this happened. I was worried about
I was waiting time.
I was waiting.
We all told
we
you.
all were.
I told you before. we have
It's
to
too
confuse
intense.
What you need is John McClane's see-through shoes. What you need is.
Oh, Christ.
It's this part here that I'm worried about. You're gonna get tripped up there pretty good.
It's like church all over again.